What is, and I'm sure this is a relatively broad question with a variety of answers. If you were to lay out the largest threats to the Amazon, obviously the destruction of it being one of the main ones, but what's driving that? Why are people? I don't. I find it hard to believe that people don't understand the consequences in a grander scale of the destruction of the Amazon for like what you were talking about, the weather patterns globally, all the things that are directly
Mm.
tied to it. I'm assuming maybe perhaps the people who are actually cutting it down, the ones who are wielding an axe, chainsaw, tractor, whatever it may be, maybe they have less of an understanding. But the entities behind that,
Mm.
who are they, and what are their motivations? What are they doing with the rainforest that they're clearing?
Well, the, your thoughts there are spot on because you have two different types of interests, really. You have the local guys on the ground who are just like, look, I want to earn, $13 a day cutting down trees because I got to feed my family. And
Totally.
fair enough. No one's going to argue with that. So that's why with jungle keepers, we've started giving them jobs as park rangers. We've started giving them jobs as conservationists. And so that's providing sustainable employment for them. You can't tell someone don't provide for your family. They're going to do whatever it takes. But when you talk about the larger interests, the corporations, the governments, the World Bank, Brazil, Peru, they're looking at things from a different perspective. There's people that believe politically. This is where like who's in office can really matter for this stuff. Jair Bolsonaro, who was the previous president of Brazil, was very concerned with that we need to develop the Amazon. He actually provided incentives for people to flood into the Amazon rainforest. He goes, this is wasteland. This is area of Brazil that's not being used. He also had, with the internet, I hesitate now if everything was real, but there's some clips of him talking about like indigenous tribes in ways that were so savage that I found it hard to believe that they are real. I mean, I heard him say it, I watched him say it, but he was basically just like eradicate them. I
Wow.
don't want to see them. Which that's that's some strong language,
Yeah, some
to on
genocide going on there.
that's some genocide going on there. And so the thing with the Amazon and the thing with jungles in general and Heart of Darkness is whether it's slaves or rubber or gold, the jungle has sort of always been where humans play a little bit dirty. And so him sending people out into the rainforest with just guns and bulldozers, there's some horrible things going on back there right now. And as soon as he got out of office and the new guy came in, Lula, he was like protecting the Amazon as part of Brazil's national imperative. We have to do it, and like he has been pulling. It's like stopping an ocean liner, though. A lot of resources have been put into conquering the Amazon. So now he's trying to pull that back and slow that down. But then if the next guy comes in and he wants to develop again, it's always you're never safe.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so these big, like you have the Trans Amazon Highway, which is China, Brazil, and the World Bank cutting a road straight across the Amazon for what? Why would they spend that money? So that they can get hardwood delivered directly up through over the Andes to Lima. And now the center of the Amazon has a land trade route that connects to Asia. And you're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars of hardwood coming from the Amazon, illegal timber. And that's what we're fighting. That's what we've been fighting. It's a weird thing to discuss because everyone knows. It's like everything else. Everyone knows what the right thing to do is. I think that that's something that we don't just sort of grow up and say often. That's like everyone knows what the right decision is most of the time. It's just about whether or not they want to do it. And so, we know that if this system is keeping everyone safe in terms of weather and resources and climate stabilization, and there's millions and millions of species living there and uncontacted indigenous cultures that live in nature the way that we have forgotten how to do, the right thing to do is to protect it so that whether there's kids living in Bangkok or Bangalore or Los Angeles, the world is healthy. But and we could do this overnight if we wanted to. And I think that we're the generation that's going to have the chance to protect a lot of the things that are essential about our natural world right now, whether it's elephants in Africa, whether it's the Amazon rainforest. I do think that we're at a climactic moment with the systems that sustain us, because if we can protect them through this sort of industrial, like we went through the industrial revolution and now we're still going through this civilizational adolescence, where if we could make it through this point, if we could let the population stabilize a little bit, And if we could re-understand, relearn the fact that we do need fresh water and clean air to live, and that those are basics that apply to everyone, it could be a huge unifying factor. And that's why we're doing 9 months at a time in the jungle right now.
Yeah, makes sense. I didn't realize that there were indigenous populations in the Amazon still uncontacted by the rest of humanity, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize it. And when I got to the Amazon, the local guys are like, "Oh yeah, los hermanos, the brothers, they're out there today." Who's the brothers? You go on the internet and it says, uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, and there's a cool BBC thing where they flew a camera with a long range telescopic lens, and you actually see these uncontacted tribes looking up at the plane with their bows. And they're crazy because they've missed out on the wheel. They've missed out. They've never seen a cell phone. They've really never seen. Some of these tribes have never seen anything. They've never seen a spoon. They don't even have metal. They don't even have boats.